Tell me about Summer Jam 2001.
Crazy.
It's live. We the champions. You heard
Michael
it.
Jackson.
We live.
King of rap, the king of pop. Holla.
Turned out crazy. Big event, 20,000.
It's the Rock, you bastards.
As always, you heard? Holla.
Welcome back to the channel. Today, we dive into one of the most iconic stories in hip-hop history, the downfall of Roc-A-Fella Records. If you're a fan of Jay-Z, Kanye West, or the golden era of East Coast rap, you know Roc-A-Fella wasn't just a label, it was a dynasty. Founded in the mid-90s, it rose from the streets of New York to dominate the charts, fashion, and even film. But like many empires, it crumbled under the weight of egos, betrayals, and business decisions gone wrong. We'll cover the rise, the peak, the internal wars, the infamous split between Jay-Z and Dame Dash, and the lingering aftermath. Now let's start at the beginning.
Jay's my best friend. I'm not ashamed to say it. And we all know this, we close, and that's one of the reasons why we so tight as a family, and why everyone in this room that's with us is gonna get money and get rich, because we believe in sharing. First, let's make a toast to Jay-Z and Boogie and life and friendship, and then a toast to Roc-A-Fella.
Get the glasses around the room. Now look hot. Hey, get the glasses around the room. Put the glasses back up.
Yeah.
That was ghetto cup. Roc-A-Fella for life. Roc-A-Fella for life.
Roc-A-Fella Records was born out of necessity and hustle. In 1994, Sean Jay-Z Carter, a rising rapper from Brooklyn's Marcy Projects, was getting nowhere with major labels. They didn't see the potential in his street-smart lyricism. So Jay linked up with two entrepreneurs, Dame Dash, a bold promoter known for his flashy style and relentless drive, and Kareem Biggs Burke, the quiet financier who handled the behind-the-scenes logistics. The trio scraped together funds, rumored to be around $30,000 from various hustles, and launched Roc-A-Fella as an independent label. The name was a play on Rockefeller, symbolizing wealth and power, but also Roc-A-Fella, meaning to dominate in rap battles. Their first major move, releasing Jay-Z's debut album, Reasonable Doubt, in 1996 through a joint venture with Priority Records, after an initial boost from Payday Records. Reasonable Doubt wasn't an overnight smash. It peaked at number 23 on the Billboard 200 and sold about 420,000 copies in its first year, but it built a cult following. Tracks like Can't Knock the Hustle, featuring Mary J. Blige and Dead Presidents, showcased Jay's storytelling prowess. The album featured early affiliates like Sauce Money, Jazzo, Jay's mentor, and a young Memphis Bleek, who would become the label's first signee beyond Jay.
Well, rapping, I just used to do it as a hobby, but my man Jazz, as far as it being a business, you know, he had to deal with EMI. He introduced me to the whole thing as a business. Like, you know, we get paid for this, you know what I mean, and go overseas and record or whatever, you know, so he introduced me to it as a business.
And you also have your own label. How did you decide to start your own label?
That came about from just seeing the frustration that he was going through. You know, people at that time, you know, I used to be around Kane, seeing his frustrations with his label, and, you know, the whole thing with Jazz, you know, the way, you know, I wouldn't say his record company was lying to him, they just wasn't telling what he needed to know. They was taking advantage of his inexperience to the business and, you know, him being brand new, coming like straight from mall, see projects right into a corporate, world, and him not understanding, the business side of things. I say they took advantage of him, so that right there, I just, I watched and I just learned and I watched. So when it was my time to come around, I just wanted to just capitalize off it.
Dame Dash was the hype man, pushing the label's image as a family, a rock, unbreakable. Biggs kept the books tight, and Jay provided the star power. But independence had limits. Distribution was a hassle, and they needed bigger reach. In 1997, everything changed. Roc-A-Fella struck a 50-50 partnership with Def Jam Recordings, selling half the company for $1.5 million. This deal gave them access to Def Jam's machine while retaining creative control. Jay's second album, In My Lifetime Volume 1, dropped that November, debuting at number 3 and going platinum. It featured hits like The City Is Mine and a posthumous collab with the notorious B.I.G. on I Love the Dough. The label also dipped into R&B with Christian's Ghetto Cyrano. By 1998, Roc-A-Fella was expanding. They signed Philly rapper Beanie Sigel and female MC Emile. Jay's Volume 2 Hard Knock Life became their breakthrough, selling over 5 million copies thanks to the Annie sampled title track. DJ Clue mixtape album The Professional went platinum too. They even ventured into film with Streets Is Watching, a semi-autobiographical movie starring Jay with a soundtrack introducing acts like Nori and M.O.P. The early years set the tone: hustle, family, and diversification. But as success grew, so did the egos.
I'm sick of your fucking jokes, you fake ass rapper.
Whatever, man. Stay on my videos.
No.
Entering the new millennium, Roc-A-Fella was on fire. Memphis Bleek's debut Coming of Age, released in 1999, went gold, solidifying him as Jay's protege. Jay's Volume 3, Life and Times of S. Carter in 1999, debuted at number 1, with bangers like Big Pimpin' featuring UGK. Then came The Dynasty, Rock La Familia in 2000, a crew album introducing producers like Kanye West on This Can't Be Life and Just Blaze. Kanye, a Chicago beatmaker, was initially overlooked. Jay didn't see his potential as a rapper, but Dame Dash championed him. The label roster ballooned: Freeway, State Property, a Philly collective including Beanie Sigel, PD Crack, and others. And in 2001, Harlem's Cam'ron and his Diplomats crew, Juelz Santana and Jim Jones. Cam's Come Home With Me dropped in 2002, went platinum with hits like Oh Boy and Hey Ma. The Diplomats brought a flashy street glam vibe that meshed with Rock's image. Meanwhile, Rock diversified beyond music. Roc-A-Wear, their clothing line launched in 1999, exploded into a $700 million brand by 2007. They entered film with Rock Films, producing State Property, Paid in Full, and Paper Soldiers. Jay's The Blueprint, released in 2001, is often hailed as a classic, dropping on September 11th, but still selling millions with soulful Kanye productions. The Blueprint 2, The Gift, and The Curse followed, featuring the Beyonce collab, 03 Bonnie and Clyde. The label's Rock the Mic tour with State Property and Dipset was a massive success. By 2003, Roc-A-Fella was a multimedia empire. Albums like Freeway's Philadelphia Freeway, Beanie's The Becoming, and Kanye's debut, The College Dropout, released in 2004, cemented their dominance. But beneath the bling, tensions were brewing.
Let's clear this up once and for all, the whole Dame Dash, Jay-Z feud. You know, that's been out for a long time. I know you spoke on it before, but where did this come from, and what is the status of it?
Well, if you see people like me and Dame, we'd be together every day, because our drive was for Roc-A-Fella. You know what I'm saying? So we ain't have anything else to do. So we'd be together every day. Every day, our waking day, we was worried about doing something else to make Roc-A-Fella grow. In the beginning, we'd jump in the van, we'd go to Maryland, we'd go anywhere. You know what I'm saying? And now we got our focus is everywhere. Different things. There's Rock-A-Wear, there's state property, there's, you know, there's Armadale, there's so many different things, as well as things that we always want to do on our own, which is, you know, when people see that, you know, us drifting apart, we always been polar opposites, you know what I'm saying? But when people see us drifting apart and doing different things like that, it leads to like talking, and then that just grows and it grows. And but I mean, I'm the kid's, you know, I'm his son's godfather. You know what I'm saying? That's my brother. Me and him, we work to this thing happen, and we both realize our dreams together. So we gonna always have that bond. So it's not a beef. It's just that it's just growing. You know what I'm saying? That sometimes growing means growing apart, not in a bad way. Like I liken it to like a LA, you know, like I said, baby face situation. You know, we all got things that we want to do, and we want to do separately. You know what I'm saying? Which is cool. Like I'm happy for him. You know what I mean? As well as, you know, he's happy for me. It's just that it's part of life. It's part of growing up.
At its height, Roc-A-Fella wasn't just selling records, it was shaping culture. Jay-Z was the king, with the Black Album released in 2003, announced as his retirement project, featuring epic tracks like 99 Problems and Dirt Off Your Shoulder. It sold over 3 million copies. Kanye's College Dropout dropped in February 2004, going triple platinum with hits like Through the Wire and Jesus Walks. He was the new face of rock, blending soul samples with introspective lyrics. The State Property crew released anthems, and Dipset's mixtapes kept the streets buzzing. Financially, they were untouchable. Roc-A-Wear grossed hundreds of millions annually. Films like Fade to Black in 2004, documenting Jay's retirement concert at Madison Square Garden, grossed millions. The label's logo, the diamond hand sign, became synonymous with success. But peak also meant pressure. Dame Dash was increasingly in the spotlight, directing films and dating celebrities like Aaliyah until her tragic death in 2001.
What was the hardest moment in your life?
When Aaliyah died, that breaks my heart.
Singer-actress Aaliyah is killed in a plane crash.
I tried to play out what that would feel like for me.
Don't do it. You don't want to go there. It's a pain that you couldn't understand.
Dame pushed for more ventures, like vodka brands and boxing promotions, sometimes using rock funds. Jay, more calculated, focused on music and long-term plays. Big stayed low-key, but the trio's dynamic was shifting. Rumors of discord surfaced. Dame's abrasiveness clashed with Jay's cool demeanor. Artists felt pulled in directions. Philly versus Harlem crews had subtle beefs. And Jay's retirement announcement in 2003 raised questions about the label's future.
There's been so many things in the air now with your retirement that you will come back as Sean Carter as an artist. We might potentially see Sean Carter albums.
Yeah.
Sean Carter might have his own label with other artists. I mean, you want to speak on any of those things?
Yeah, everything is early, you know what I'm saying? But everything is about growth. You know what I'm saying? Especially the album thing is still early. Like my whole thing with moving on, like you said, I felt like I hit a wall. Like I just didn't want to just go in the studio and just record music and put out albums just to make money. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Just to be doing it and going through the motions. I got to be passionate about it, and I wasn't feeling that passion, so I put it down. I still feel the same way. I still got a lot of other things to do. You know, so that's a long way away. And as far as the label, I know I'm gonna have to come back to music because it's my first love, and I know I love working with new artists and seeing them go through that whole transformation and putting out new artists and seeing a new guy blow up or whatever. So I just don't know if that's this year or 3 years from now. You know what I mean?
The first major crack showed in late 2003. According to insiders, Dame wanted to expand aggressively, while Jay sought stability. A key flashpoint, Dame appointing Cameron as vice president, which some saw as a power move that alienated others, like Memphis Bleek, who later cited it as a turning point in the label's decline. Another issue, the R. Kelly collaboration. Dame claims Jay's decision to tour and record with R. Kelly amid Kelly's scandals created an irreparable rift, as Dame opposed it morally.
Hey, did Jay know about what he did to Aaliyah?
Did he know that everybody knew R. Kelly married Aaliyah at 15? Everybody knew that. So was the conversation had like, yo, how you gonna go and do something with this dude? Hell yeah, that conversation was had. Hey, you think I'm soft? Pause, like I'm punk? That didn't happen. I was like, yo, how you gonna do a project with a nigga that raped my motherfucking girl? We had the conversation. Why would you still f with a nigga that f with someone that raped your girl? Would you still do anything with that person? So why would anyone expect me to? Like, that's what I don't understand. I'd be like, yo, people be like, why? Well, just that alone. There's a lot of other shit. But that alone was like the nail in the coffin for me. I was out of there. I was gone. Trust me. After that, I don't want to be nowhere near. I knew that shit was going to blow up. I didn't want no parts of that shit. Like, I was like, I don't want no parts. That's not good money. So I was done with him for that.
How did Jay respond when you confronted him about it?
You know how he is. He's like, yo, I ain't nothing to do with that.
Damn.
What I would love is for someone to ask him, like, yo, why would you still do a project with that man knowing that he raped f***ing Aaliyah? That should be the question. Period. It shouldn't be for me. It should be the question posed to him. You know, I don't give a fuck about nothing else. But that right there was bridge burnt. But I just was like respecting her, respecting the business. But I was I moved out of Roc. Like, if y'all look at, like, I left Roc-A-Fella. It wasn't that I got kicked out of Roc-A-Fella. I left Roc-A-Fella. You understand what I'm saying? The option was there for me to stay. I did not want no parts of it. I was done. I left Rockware. Think about it, bro. I said, f all the money, f all this shit. I'm out. Now think about, a lot of men would not have made that choice. But any real man would have to make that choice. I was left no choice. He gave me an offer I could not refuse. Like, we done. You know what I'm saying? You gonna f with this man, you knew he raped my girl, you was in love with her. How could you do that? It's obviously you want me to feel away. Like, it wasn't enough money for us to do that. So I was done.
Egos clashed publicly. Dame was vocal in interviews, calling himself the cultural architect of the label. Jay felt Dame was overshadowing the music. Steve Stout, a music exec, later said on Club Shay Shay that Jay saw Dame's ceiling and his impulsive style limiting growth. Quoting Jimmy Iovine,
Jimmy Iovine had this line, when the shit gets bigger than the cat, you got to get rid of the cat.
Right.
Financial disagreements mounted. Dame allegedly used company funds for personal projects, leading to resentment. Lear Cohen, Def Jam's head, reportedly told Jay he'd deal with him with or without Dame or Biggs. By late 2004, the writing was on the wall. Jay's retirement was short-lived. He was eyeing bigger roles. The bombshell dropped in 2004. The Island Def Jam Music Group bought the remaining 50% of Roc-A-Fella for $10 million, making it fully owned by Def Jam. Jay-Z was appointed president and CEO of Def Jam, retaining control of Roc-A-Fella and his master recordings. Dame and Biggs were effectively ousted. The split was messy. Artists had to choose sides. Kanye, Memphis Bleek, and Beanie stayed with Jay in the new rock. Cameron, the Diplomats, and others sided with Dame, who formed Dame Dash Music Group, DDMG, under Universal. Freeway initially stayed, but left for Cash Money in 2009.
So Dame Dash pretty much put his stamp on you.
Yeah.
So when the Roc-A-Fella Records team broke up, that was big news everywhere in the music industry. Dame Dash and Jay-Z are gonna split. Some artists are gonna go over here, and others are gonna go over there. You chose to stick with Jay-Z. Why did you choose to stick with him when it seems by appearance that Dame is the one that supported you in the beginning? Do you think that's disloyal?
Yep. I think a lot of just men in general, if you ask them something in that situation, they'll figure out a way to reword it. So it's like they answer it, but they don't give away that they was in the wrong. And a wise man could admit when he was wrong.
Dame blasted Jay publicly, accusing him of betrayal and diluting shares. Jay responded subtly in lyrics, like on song Lost One, released in 2006.
Saying they made hoe say, okay, so make another hoe.
The feud went on for years. Jim Jones later said the split could have been avoided with better communication, but egos prevailed. Young Chris of State Property chose Jay for business reasons, citing stability. The sale marked the end of the original Roc-A-Fella. What was once a family became a corporate asset.
It didn't go left.
Okay, it didn't go left.
Why you think it went left?
Hold on.
What are you talking about? Roc-A-Fella?
Roc-A-Fella.
I'll go it.
The perception of why Roc-A-Fella ended is different. You're aware of this.
It's because Jay did what he did. He didn't want to pay $3. He made a move on his friends. It is what it is, bro. I don't want to talk about Jay.
No. All I'm saying is the perception of why Roc-A-Fella ended is not that Dame Dash wanted to move on and do something different. That's not, I believe you, that's not the perception.
Who cares?
But you're aware of that.
Sometimes you got to Machiavelli yourself to be left alone.
Post-split, the new Roc-A-Fella under Jay released hits like His Kingdom Come in 2006, Kanye's Graduation in 2007, and Watch the Throne in 2011 with Kanye, briefly reviving the label. But it was a shadow of itself. Artists like Freeway and Bleek departed, starting their own ventures. Dame's DDMG flopped by 2006 with no major success. He attempted relaunches, like with Currency in 2010 under Blue Rock, but struggled financially. Legal woes piled up. In 2012, he was sued over sampling and Reasonable Doubt. The biggest drama, in 2021, Roc-A-Fella sued Dame for trying to auction an NFT of Reasonable Doubt's copyright, which he didn't own outright. A judge issued a restraining order. By 2024, Dame's 33.3% stake was auctioned to satisfy an $823,000 judgment from a 2022 lawsuit over a failed film. New York State bought it for $193 plus fees.
Do you ever, because there's been so many news stories about stuff that he's dealing with, do you ever feel bad that it ended the way it did, or that maybe his situation didn't turn out to be as good as your situation? And
I have a thing about in life I can't control everything. I can't control the things in life. Of course, if you see someone going through problems, but I have ultimate confidence in him that he'll find his way, because he's an amazing and really smart guy, and he's a I almost said ultimate hustler, but I really hated that.
Jay thrived, building Roc Nation in 2008. Dame faced bankruptcies and public setbacks, but remained defiant. Despite the downfall, Roc-A-Fella's legacy endures. It launched legends like Jay-Z and Kanye, popularized producer-driven albums, and showed hip-hop could build empires beyond music. The split highlighted pitfalls, unchecked egos, poor communication, and the clash between street hustle and corporate strategy. As Dan Runcie noted on Trapital, the breakup's impact lingers. Jay became a billionaire, Dame a cautionary tale. Could it have been avoided? Jim Jones thinks so, but history says otherwise. Roc-A-Fella taught us, dynasties rise together, but often fall apart. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Was the split inevitable? Who was right, Jay or Dame? Thanks for watching.
We created this company called Roc-A-Fella Records. Shout out to Dame. I know we don't see eye to eye, but I can never erase your accomplishments, and I appreciate you, and I thank you for that. And shout out to Biggs, who's one of the most honorable people I've ever met. We created something that will probably never be duplicated.
And I appreciate you guys.
We love you,
Think about journey. Thank you.
You're looking at the plug.